And this is the Money Made Easy series, and we're going to talk about how to make money on the internet. And so I want to review with you, and again, I review this every time because it's so important that you get these 5 steps. And then I'm going to show you why that's so important. So step number 1 in anything that we do is we need to learn how to make money. That's crucial in the top of our formula. Number 2 is to be able to separate your money. Number 3 is you need to give some to church and charity. Number 4 is to save and invest. And then number 5 is to spend the rest. Now most people only have a job, or the spouse has a job, and that's the only way that they bring money into their world. He has a job, second job, spouse has a job. But over here we want to talk about how to create chunks of cash. And earlier we've talked about real estate, we've talked about the stock market. Now I want to talk about the internet and how you use the internet to make another chunk of money. Okay, so really as you think about it, there's a couple steps and things that you need to do. Number 1, you need to find a way to be able to attract clients. You need to have a good product though, a product that you can believe in. So there's a couple steps. Number 1 is to be able to find clients. Number 2 is we want to make some kind of an offer that we can believe in. Number 3 is that we need to sell that product. And number 4 is we need to do the fulfillment. Okay, so we need to find clients, we need some kind of an offer, we need to create a sales program or a funnel, and we need fulfillment to fulfill all of our product. Now some people do it with a funnel. And you've seen this many times where it's basically a funnel that goes like this, and here's the different steps till you get down to the bottom. And there's nothing wrong with that. This would be the clients that you have, this would be the offer, this would be the sales, and this would be the fulfillment. That's one way to look at it. I prefer personally to go sideways on it because it's a flow to me from one side to the other. So one of the things you got to do is you got to find a good product. And in my lifetime, I've marketed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of different products and services. And there's some basic pieces that stick out in every one of them. And if I was to start today, you know, back when we've done lots of different marketing campaigns. We have sent out millions and millions and millions of pieces of direct mail. We had a program where to find clients and to make an offer to them that we hand addressed all the envelopes. We would use a little sticky and put it onto a newspaper ad that we'd actually reprint a newspaper ad, tear it out, just reprint that page, fold it up, put it into an envelope, hand write an address, anything to look different and unique. And that was an awful lot of work. We had a lot of people addressing these envelopes for us, hand addressed, it was personal. It looked like it came to you. As you get mail, for example, most people sort their mail over the garbage. I know I do. As I get mail out of the mailbox, I go to the garbage and I get rid of as much of it as I possibly can, because most of the time there's nothing unique about it and it already tells me what the offer is. And just be aware that out of 100 pieces of mail that goes out to somebody, there's only going to be a very small percent, maybe 1% that are interested in that product at that time. And actually it could be even less than that. So the first step is to be able to find clients and do it in a very inexpensive way. Now because of technology, there's different ways to be able to do that. So I'm going to show you more of a high-tech way, and then we're going to work backwards. And so, you know, if you have some kind of a product or service, one of the ways to do it is to advertise on a program like Facebook. Now, the nice thing about Facebook is that you can run an ad, a sponsored ad. The first thing that I would do, though, is that I would get some kind of a following. So as you have your own Facebook post different things about your products or services, as well as other interesting things about yourself. So the people who are following you just don't see this as a big sales pitch. But you can start by doing social media. Social media is when you're trying to solve a problem. So the biggest thing that I want you to do is I want you to go find a problem. Find a problem. And then tell me what the solution is. All sales is, and marketing is finding a problem that many people have, and finding a solution and an easy way for those people to buy to solve their problem. The people who make the most money are the people who solve the biggest problems. Doctors make more money than nurses because they solve bigger problems. Okay? Entrepreneurs make more money because they solved a bigger problem. You want to add value. You talk about people that add value. Tony Robbins is a friend of mine. We lived in San Diego together. I used to fly with him in his helicopter, and I love Tony for the things that he teaches. But the one thing that he really taught me was to add value. Add more value than what your service costs. So if you have something that's of great value at a lower price, people will buy it. And if you can take that same value and have many, many people buy it without having to recreate it each time, then that's how you create real wealth. Bill Gates, software. You're all familiar with Microsoft. But many people do not know that the MS-DOS that was created for that first IBM wasn't even a DOS product operating system that Gates wrote. He and Paul Allen had created the software. They sold IBM on the concept that they could use the MS-DOS as that operating system back 30 plus years ago. And they went out and they found Seattle Computing that had a better operating system. They bought that operating system for $50,000 US, and then they leased it basically on a license agreement. So for every IBM computer that was sold would use that software. They bought it for 50, and then they sold it on every computer that was sold from IBM. They later went back in and said, we're going to create IBM compatibles. So they not only sold it to IBM, but they also sold that software to all their competition, which is pretty amazing. He added great value on a product. He multiplied it many, 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 many times, millions and millions and millions of times. And then they found another problem. People had a problem doing their writing or spreadsheets. And so they created a software solution. They found a solution for it, added great value, sold it millions and millions and millions of times, and that's what equals great wealth. And so your marketing is very similar in what you're trying to do now. Now, for most people, if they're getting started, they're going to start with something very simple and very easy to test their concepts out. When we do a marketing program, we do it basically opposite of how most people do it. Most people, if they're going to write a book, for example, will spend all the time come up with the concept for a book. They will come up with the title. They will test the title, maybe, maybe not. They will do the table of contents, and they will spend forever writing the book. And then, by the time they got the book done, they're bored of it, and they don't know how to market it, and it just dies. We do opposite of that. If we write a book, I've worked with people that do infomercials, and they do the opposite of that. They say, this is the book that we're going to write. We're going to build an infomercial or a marketing plan. We're going to go sell it. We're going to see if we can actually sell it first. We want to see if people want it. We want to see what the media will cost. We want to see how many people will convert and how many people will buy it. And then if we spend the money in media and it makes money, we'll send that money back to them and say the book isn't quite ready yet. And then we'll go back and write the book. Whatever you're doing, do opposite of it. Most people will write the book and do everything, and then they'll never market it. We go opposite of that. We figure out what the marketing campaign is. We go sell it. And again, we sell it in a fashion where we're taking pre-orders, spend the money on media and marketing. If it's a great hit, then we'll basically we won't cash the checks. We'll basically say the book is not in print yet. We'll send the money back, but we'll let you know when it is available, and then we'll go write the book. 180 degrees opposite of what other people do. They have to test the market. But if I was starting today and I wanted to do some kind of an internet program and sell a product, I would do it very inexpensively to get started with it. And you can do that by running some kind of a Facebook ad. And let's use the book example for a second, because we were just talking about that. If you have a great book, you've written a book, or you want to test your book, you would basically go to Facebook and you could buy a sponsored ad. And you could give away that book for free, for example, or you could give the first couple of chapters away for free. You can spend media money on that ad. They would run it, X number of people would see it, and those people would then go to be able to see what the offer is. They could download the free book, and let's say that you wanted to do an upsell of the audio cassettes or an audio download. When you go to McDonald's, you buy a hamburger, but where they don't make the money on the hamburger. In fact, they lose money on the hamburger. It's called a loss leader. What is it that I can get you in on so that I can sell you something else where you can make a profit? The same is true in many marketing pieces. We're going to lose money on some of it. We're going to make it up on the other stuff. And so when you drive through McDonald's, they say, would you like fries with that? And and then they say, would you like a large order of fries with that? So they've taken your order and they've increased the order, and that's where they're getting their profit out of. So in this example, let's say that you were going to do a book. Well, what I would do is I'd go run an ad, for example. I would offer my free book. Once they click on, I want that free book, download the book, but then I would put them to an offer. And here's the offer. Hey, would you like the audios? Or would you like another book? Or would you like a class or a seminar to go with that? And this is what we call basically an offer page. From there, we're going to try and make a sale. So you're going to have so many people get the free book. Let's say that it's 1,000 people that get your free book. And in this example, let's say it's going to cost you $3 for every one of those people that you give a free book to, so it's $3,000 worth of media. And a percentage of those people will come in and say, hey, I would like the audio, or I would like something else. And let's say that the audio is $30, just to keep things simple. You've spent $3,000 here. We have a product worth that's $30. If we sold 100 of them, that gets us our $3,000 back. We're basically at a break even. Okay, so we spent $3,000 in media. We gave away 1,000 books, but yet we got 10% of them to say, I want to spend $30. $30 times 100 is $3,000. We've basically broken even at this point. But more importantly, we have 100 buyers. Now there's a saying that says a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. And what you're really looking for are people that have bought your product that want to buy more of your product. I bought McDonald's hamburgers all over the world, not because I like McDonald's, but they're convenient and I know what I'm going to get. And so their goal is to get market share. Amazon.com was really crucial in this when they got started. Amazon still doesn't make any money, but they keep growing and growing and growing and grabbing more and more market share. And when books came out, they were competing with B. Dalton's and Barnes & Noble. And Amazon says, hey, I want market share. I want eyeballs. I want as many clients as I can possibly get, and especially ones that buy, because I know they're going to continue to buy books, 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 books. And then they're going to sell them other stuff. I'm going to sell them computers and everything else. My goal is to make the buying experience easy. And so Amazon would do things like they would actually offer some of the best-selling books. If a book came out and it was a $30 book, that's what it was selling for at Barnes & Noble. The way it usually works is that the publisher is going to take half of it and the reseller is going to take half of it. So in this example, it's a $30 book is what the rack rate is on it. This is how much the publisher is going to get, and this is how much the reseller is going to get. And what Amazon wanted to do is that they wanted market share. They wanted as many clients as they could get because they knew that they were going to sell some of them, but more importantly, they were going to sell them again and again and again and again, and they were going to sell other stuff. They just wanted to make that person a client, and they wanted them to be happy. And so what Amazon did was they said, hey, I don't want that 15 bucks. I want the client. And so instead of selling this book for $30 like Barnes & Noble did, they sold it for $16. And they only took like $1 of it. They didn't really care if they made money on it or not. They might have made money on shipping. They found another way, but the real key for them was they wanted to build a huge database of clients. They wanted a lot of people that bought and owned their product so they could continue to sell them again and again and again and again. We call that the lifetime value of a customer. Now in this example, we said, you know, we went out there and we spent 3,000 bucks and we got 10% of them to buy our $30 product. So we've broken even there. But the key was now I have 100 clients that I can offer other products to. I can sell other things to. And that's really where the profit margin comes in. Okay. And then, of course, you've got to find a way to be able to do all of your fulfillment. So if I was starting an internet campaign today, and, for example, we're using a book here, I would find a way to be able to offer something on there for an inexpensive price. And the reason I like using Facebook is because you can start a campaign with 500 bucks. You don't need an awful lot of money. When you are doing a campaign, your goal is to find other people that like that same product. So we call those lookalikes. And basically, your goal is to find clients, sell them a product, make them a lifetime customer, and sell them other products. And so that's just one way to get started if you're going to do something like that. Now, in a perfect world, this is a very digital world. You can also do things like direct mail, where you would actually write a mail piece, and then you would rent a list of names of people that bought other products similar to your product send it to them, and hopefully get them to buy your products and services. But again, if I was getting started, I would use something like Facebook. You can also have a website. You can also have your website. The opposite to using that is basically having your own website. The website is where you're going to offer your products and services. And again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to stick to this book idea. And so on our offer page, we're going to offer the free book. And the whole goal is to get that guy to download that book and give me the name. And so we can go out to Google, for example, and we can buy Adwords. And if you go into Google and you type in, I'm interested in a book on basket weaving or whatever it is, and you can actually say, I want to have that pop up as a sponsored ad. When you go to Google, you'll notice here's the paid advertising, the top 3. And then over here, here's more paid advertising. And then down here is the ones that have the biggest natural search. When I'm trying to buy something off of Google or I'm searching and stuff like that, I usually go right here because that is one that has more of a natural tendency to be what it is I'm looking for. But you can go into Google and say, I'm going to spend money on AdWords. Anybody that's typing in the idea or the product that I have is going to pop up. If they click on that link and it sends them to my website, www. whatever my website is, I get charged for that. I'm going to get charged so many dollars per every one that goes there. Warren Buffett talks about this, how you know, they have Geico Insurance, which is a huge insurance company, and they let Progressive sneak up on them and take a lot of market share because they knew what they were doing. They knew about the Google guys. The Google guys came and talked to them about advertising on Google and using Google. So if I'm typing in auto insurance and I live in wherever I live, and an ad would pop up, I'd click on it, the ad would pop up, and I'd go buy, I would go buy that insurance. And it was extremely profitable. But it was really funny because Buffett didn't really see that. He didn't quite understand it. He just knew that every time that somebody clicked on a button, that Google made money. Not only did he not use that to sell insurance, car insurance, but he also didn't use it to buy big chunks of Google when it came out. You go back and you look at Jeff Bezos from Amazon. He was in that world. He was in that digital world of thinking that. And you know, he hung out with the guys from Google. So not only did he take some of his profits from his own stock, but he invested in other companies that he knew would do really well, one being Google. And so Google, you can go buy an ad word. Somebody types in whatever it is that you're selling, you know, a book on basket weaving or whatever it might be. They click on that. It takes them to your free book. Hey, get a free book here. It acquires a name. And then what we do is we put them into a squeeze page and a sales page, a capture page, and the whole goal is to get a sale out of them. So that's another way to be able to do it. Have Google or something else sell you advertising. People that are interested in what you have, some kind of an irresistible offer that is a great offer that solves a big problem, that then you capture a name, you sell a product, and then you upsell with other products. And the long-term value, when you look at this name and this buyer, the real value is in upselling other products and making him a buyer for life. People that buy Coca-Cola, you know, people that get Coke, the reason that they do so well is that they have rapid raving fans. They love Coca-Cola for some reason. And they drink a lot of Coca-Cola. And you look at that, how much Coca-Cola they're going to buy over their lifetime is huge. So the cost to acquire that customer might be high, but they know that this guy is going to buy Coca-Cola every day for many, many years. Cigarette smoking is another example of that. You look at that company and you say, well, how come these cigarette companies are spending all this money on marketing and advertising? Well, they know if they can hook a client, and cigarette smoking is not a good thing for you. But I'm just using that as an example. If you can hook this client that is interested in smoking, and I can get him when he's young, and then I can get him addicted, it doesn't really matter what it costs me to get that, to acquire that client, because I know over a year's period of time, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, that I'm going to make a lot of money off that client. And so they figure out what's the lifetime value of a customer. So many times when you're doing a product right off, you may not make a profit immediately off of it. You have to say, well, is this guy going to buy any more products off of me in the future? And if he did, how many products is he going to buy, and what's that going to be worth to me? And so that's really the second one, is using something like a Google, sending them to a web page, offering something, and then upselling them other products and services throughout time. Now, the third way that you can do it is really using Amazon. Now, Amazon is really the new 600-pound gorilla that's out there. And Amazon has basically made this very simple. Their goal was to get market share. They wanted to be able to get as many eyeballs as possible. And they wanted to find a client that really wanted to make it work without having to shop. For example, I hate shopping. I just do. If you tell me you need something very specifically and you want me to go find that, then I'll go find it for you. I hate shopping. But if you tell me you need a stapler, I'm going to go to my Amazon right here, and I'm going to go find that stapler. I'm going to do a little bit of search on it, and I'm going to hit 2 buttons, and it's going to be here the next day or the day after. I'm not going to go search for that product. I'm just going to do it here. I'm one of those guys that it didn't really matter what it cost to acquire me, because they know that I'm going to buy products. And in my household, we buy products. We'll have a shipment coming from Amazon, every week, and that's going to happen for many, many years. And so if you have products that you want to sell, Amazon is one of the ways to be able to do that. Now, your margins are going to be a little bit tighter, because the way their whole profit margin is that they're trying to acquire customers. They're trying to acquire databases of people. Their goal is to have you order off that phone versus getting up and going out and looking for things. And they can deliver it cheaper than many brick and mortar stores can. So Amazon, there's really 2 ways to make money. One is to offer your products and services on Amazon. Now, Amazon doesn't really play fair. They're a very big company, and I hate to say it, but as they find items that sell really well, they start knocking off those items and selling themselves. Now, Amazon doesn't really own any products. It just warehouses them and sells them and makes a commission. Just like if you were to go into Barnes & Noble bookstore and wanting to buy a book. Well, Barnes & Noble does not own those books. Those are owned by the publishers and the people that are doing all the distribution. But when Barnes & Noble sells that book, then they pay them after it gets sold. So they're basically taking on consignment or an option. They have the option to sell it. If they sell it, then they'll pay the publisher. If they don't sell it, they literally rip off the covers of those books and basically shred the book, send the cover back and say, hey, it didn't sell, here it is, you take it back. That's kind of how that model works. Now, Amazon went a different direction. It said that we're going to make this very simple for the customer. We're going to start with books. And the reason for books is because they started up in the Washington State area, where Ingram was at. And Ingram was one of the biggest distributor of books. So they had access to be able to go grab books to put it on into their online store. Their online store basically started with a couple guys selling some books on the internet and fulfilling them, basically getting down on their knees and putting them all together, putting them in boxes and taking them to UPS to ship out. So they started with very, very humble beginnings. But Amazon has really, really grown. And so you can create your product. You can take it to a fulfillment center. You can take that product there, and Amazon will sell the product for you as people search for it. They will ship it for you, and then they will pay you. And again, Amazon doesn't have any cost in that. They're just the middleman. And they're basically a technology company. But they take your names, the names of those people, and then they're going to go sell them and market them other stuff. So that's kind of interesting. The other way to make a lot of money is basically to sell your products, and 2 is to sell other people's products. I'll give you an example of that. You can go to and find products at a discount. One of the stores that people go to where they find products at a big discount are dollar stores. All a dollar, Dollar Tree. This is a company's concept, is that they take what they call remaindered, or products that have an odd number, where the bigger company is not going to sell that any longer, or they just don't have the shelf space. And so big companies send them to places like All a Dollar or Dollar Tree. And these companies here are buying these products at a big discount. So all the dollars buying them at a discount, and then they're selling them cheap. Okay, and so you look at an all dollar, it does more revenue per square foot than many of the big retailers do. But that means that you can find great products at a discount. Now there are some great apps that have been created that you can go in and do what we call arbitrage. Arbitrage is when you can buy a product at a price and you know that you can sell it at another price. So let's use a magic bullet blenders, for example. Let's say that let's say that we're going to do something like that, and we could go to some kind of a place and we found magic bullet blenders at a discount, and we know that we can buy those for $15 each because somebody's liquidating them. There's a big sale on them. Target might have a sale, a blowout sale. Walmart might even be selling them. Costco could be selling them. I know people that just go to Costco. This is a great example. Costco's business model is we don't really care what that product costs. We're just going to up the pricing on it 10 to 12%, whatever their model is. It might only be 7%. So if we bring in an item that costs $100, it costs us $100. We're taking it on consignment. We're not going to pay the owner of that product until we sell it. But we're only going to mark it up 7%. So we're going to sell it for $107. Okay? And so Costco's model is everything that's in Costco, you know, it's basically their cost plus that margin. And that margin might only be 7 to 10%. Now, most companies do what we call keystone. If they have a product that costs $15, that's their hard cost to be able to buy it. They mark it up 100%. That's natural retail, and they're going to sell it for $30. That's basically what we call keystone, or upping the price on it 100%. That's basically how most operations work in the regular retail. Costco said, hey, we're going to do something totally different. We're going to take that product that costs $100 and we're only going to up it a matter of 7%. So we're going to sell it for $107. You can use apps to be able to go find these products right here, and you can go in and they'll say, hey, this product right here has been selling for $125, and this is how many it sells every day. And so you can go into Costco and buy it basically for the $107. You can turn around and resell it for $125 and make the $18 worth of profit. You go buy the product here, you take it to the fulfillment center, they house it for you. When the product sells, they ship it out, they do the customer service and everything, and they pay you your profit of $18. And so this is a great way for many people to get started into the digital age of selling products. One is any products that you might have yourself. But number two is just go find products that you can buy at a discount. And you need to find places where those products are sold at a discount. Costco is one of those. You can do arbitrage. You can find out, using our blender example again, here's a product that's sold for $100 at Costco. They up at 7%, so their prices, they're selling for $107. You find that on Amazon that they're selling that same product for $125. And you know that they're selling hundreds of them, how many ever they sell. You know that there's a potential of an $18 profit. Now, out of that $18 profit, you're going to have to pay Amazon a percentage of it. That's going to go to Amazon. And there's probably some shipping and handling that's going to be in there. So after all of that, you're only probably going to make $10. But that's not too bad, considering that you're making a 10% profit margin on that product. But you're making that every time you sell one. And let's say that you sell, if you sell one every month, you're basically doubling your money in a year just off that example. So that's one of the ways of the internet that you can make money. You can have your own products. You can do it the old school way. You can sell it using Google, run your own ad, have it go to your own page. You can do a Facebook ad and then deliver it that way, have that go to your page, and then sell your product that way. You can go on Amazon where you can buy a product at a discount and then resell it. And so there's many different ways to be able to do it. And again, the big purpose of that is to make chunks of cash that you can then put into the top of your funnel. Anyway, this is Tom Painter. Thank you so much for being in our class, and Good luck with that. Bye-bye.